Hi, this is Sumit Kumar from Team Winning, and in this presentation, we'll talk about the project that we'll be working on in this semester for CS 6440 Intro to Health Informatics. Now, EMR systems have been around for a long time, and their rate of growth has increased in recent years, as we'll see in the research section of the deck. While healthcare providers agree that these systems are indeed helpful, the lack of interoperability between these systems is often a huge challenge. If you look at the numbers on the right, for example, about 89% of the providers emphasize on the importance of interoperability, and it is projected that it can help reduce care costs by up to $30 billion per year and increase the quality of care patients receive. That might look like a lot, but the fact that every hospital on an average uses more than 10 different EMR systems as depicted in the chart on the right should help put things into perspective. While we do have FHIR as the common standard, we still need a way to map the data from all the different EMRs into that common standard.
Hi, my name is Zach Hanley and I'll be covering some of our research. Computer systems have become more prevalent in the healthcare industry, allowing doctors and nurses to streamline things like the documentation of medical diagnosis, the ordering of laboratory tests, and the prescribing of medications. Just 10 years ago, only 4% of providers utilized electronic medical record systems. Now, in 2018, most hospitals and more than 50% of providers utilize them. As EMR adoption has exploded, so has the development of their accompanying standards. If you look to the right, you can see that the average EMR vendor now uses more than 82 different EMR systems. Many standards were developed in the same areas such as clinical documentation. The photo to the right is an example of how several clinical document standards like CDA and CCR have been merged into CCDA. With some of the competing standards in EMR systems, it was clear that an interoperability solution was needed. In 2014, Fast Healthcare Interoperability Resource was released and enabled interoperability by providing an API for the exchange of data between systems. Many existing EMR systems use a custom application called a FHIR adapter to bring old systems into compliance with the FHIR standard.
My name is Kevon Brown. The Raw to FHIR AutoMapper project aims to develop an interoperable platform using FHIR RESTful services and API that is fully able to map and communicate with various EMR databases to FHIR standard. The intended purpose of the AutoMapper is to take a data schema input and massage that data into FHIR standards as output. Figure 5 in our example design is a depicted example of a system architecture of a FHIR client interacting with an EMR database using FHIR RESTful API to provide predictive analysis for patients' clinical data.
Hi, I'm Steven Sodman and I'll be talking about the business case of our project. With widespread adoption of EMRs by hospitals and providers, there are plenty of electronic records available, but not all of these systems interact. To recognize the value of these systems, interoperability between them is a must and is a current challenge within the industry. Why have interoperability? 86% of doctors have said they could improve patient care if EMRs were interoperable with other technologies. If an EMR were mapped to FHIR standards, that EMR would gain the ability to interact with other vendors that have support for FHIR. Additionally, the exchange of health information would result in an increase in the quality of healthcare. With an EMR mapped to FHIR, almost all aspects of the health information ecosystem will benefit. Doctors will be able to fully utilize FHIR apps that use information from the EMR since it will be mapped to the FHIR standards. Patients will have increased engagement, and the sharing of information will ideally reduce the number of disparities in their care. Providers who create EMRs that can utilize the mapping to FHIR will see a higher usage in their EMR as the information stored within the system will be more easily shared. Additionally, the increase in the shared data will allow for better opportunities within research. Additionally, developers will be able to quickly convert raw data and rapidly speed up the development process. Healthcare product owners will be able to integrate their products without sacrificing resources to development and market research. Overall, the products will be more accessible and enrich the product's interoperability.
Hi, I am Brian Gorges. With our current information from communications and research, we are mostly looking at this class's structure for the Gantt chart. In addition, the project structure highlights how we will use the feedback from presentations to reassess and change the direction forward. More details about the final product and requirements will fill out the chart as they become available.